and welcome back to our continuing live coverage of the summer preview with Origins Game Fair. You're watching the Dice Tower. I'm Sam. This is Scott from Rio Grande Games. And we're taking a look at Oktoberfest. We've got a lot of other stuff to go through as well. So saddle up, because we're going to hit the ground running. Show us Oktoberfest.
I'm going to give you a quick overview.
Absolutely.
So Oktoberfest is a closed economy game.
Okay.
You are a brewmeister trying to direct people into beer tents and supply your beer to them to make you the most successful brewmeister.
Okay.
Effectively, what you're going to do is send people to beer tents. They're going to consume beer. You're going to get victory points for supplying the right beers to those people who want those beers.
Okay.
Okay. Beginning of the game, everybody starts with some money and some patron tokens. These are people that you're going to use to fill up tents, to close tents. Because only when tents close do you score up to see who provided what. That's how you get victory points, basically.
Gotcha.
Okay? On your turn, you can only do one of three things on your turn. And you have player screens, so your money and these patron markers are actually hidden. Okay. I'm going to keep them in front just because we're right here. It'll be easier. Good. Okay? On your turn, you can do one of three things. At the beginning of the game, the thing you're probably going to do the most is start an auction to send these people who have demand. They like particular kinds of beers.
Correct.
You're going to direct them into these tents.
Okay.
You start an auction. So my action is going to start an auction. I'm going to maybe choose this gate to open and let these people in.
Okay.
We're now going to have a once-around auction where people have the choice to take money from behind your screen, to put it in front of your screen, to make the decision of which tents those people are going to go into.
Okay.
So you might put out, let's say you're going to put out 2 coins.
All right.
Okay?
Boom.
The next player, they can put out coins or not, they might pass. Now it's my choice as the person, we go around to the person who started the auction to decide if I want to make that decision or I want to take money.
All right.
So what I can do is take your money to let you make that decision.
Okay.
Or I can pay you 1 coin more. You put out 2 coins, I could give you 3 coins to make the decision myself.
I see.
And the money always stays in the game.
Okay.
So once, let's say I do that, I pay you, I want to make the decision. So one of these people I'm going to discard. I'm going to throw them out of the fair. So I'm going to throw them out.
Okay.
Next, with the remaining 2 people, I must send them to different tents. Maybe I'll put this person here and this person here. The rule is, as you're putting them into the tents, they go in increasing value. So if there was already a 1 in this tent, I can put a 3. The numbers always have to go higher.
Okay.
I can skip. What I can't do is if I had a 4, I can't put a 3 on top of that. Okay? Now, for having made the decision of people going into the tents, I now can supply some beer to them.
Okay.
This person can take a maximum of 2 barrels of beer.
Okay.
This person can take a maximum of 2 barrels. Notice the number 1 can take a maximum of 1 barrel of beer. I can choose how much I want to supply, but we'll only supply what they want. So this person likes a pale ale.
All right.
I'm going to choose to only give them 1 barrel of pale ale. Okay?
All right.
The cost of manufacturing that pale ale is 1 coin per. If I'm going to do 1 barrel, it costs 1 coin. There's a little chart right here.
Gotcha. Okay.
I provided pale ale, so I'll put a coin in there to show I've provided 1 barrel of pale ale, and I take this pale ale card and put it in my hand behind the screen.
All right.
Now for the dark lager, I'm going to choose to provide 2 barrels. So I'm going to pay 3 coins to the dark lager and take 2 cards.
Gotcha.
The reason why here's 1 barrel costs 1 coin, 2 barrels 3, 3, 5, 4, 7.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've taken these 2 cards.
Okay.
And now that auction action is done, it's now the next player's turn to take an action. Because we have an empty gate, we'll put out new cards. If it ever happens that 2 of the cards in any gate cannot legally be placed, we close that gate.
Okay.
If it ever happens that all 3 gates are closed, then only the other 2 actions, which I haven't told you what they are, can be done for the rest of the round.
All right.
So let's talk about the other 2 actions. The next action you could do is if you have barrel cards, you can sell them back to make money. Okay. So maybe I'm going to sell back a dark lager card. If I put it in this pile, I can take all the money in the dark lager pile.
Really?
Okay?
Wow,
All the money.
okay.
I could also choose if I'm going to return another card, I don't have a dark lager, but this has the most money, I can return a pale ale card and take half of any other one rounded up. So in this case, I could take these 2 coins. Okay? But here's the thing. These cards are what you use to get victory points.
Okay.
So your choice is either save them to use them for victory points, or sell them back to get money.
So is it kind of like almost like a stock market, maybe? Because you're like putting your stock into that company so that you can make that company be the best?
In that way, yes, a little bit. Because now so those are 2 actions.
Okay.
Now the third action, which is how you get victory points. Later in the game, as these, let's just say it's later in the game, and this is what the gates look like.
Okay.
There are some wild cards. When you play a wild card, you can choose what you want to make that person's demand. So we'll say that's maybe a porter.
Okay.
Okay. And let me look at cards. Dark ale. Let's just say it was like this later on in the game.
Yeah.
Now, the third action is I can start an auction to close a tent.
Okay.
Okay. To do that, I take one of these markers. These are the morning markers, afternoon, evening. I will take the first one that's available. And now I say I'm starting the auction to close a tent. We now go clockwise with me making the final decision.
Okay.
You can then say, I want to spend one of my patron tokens. You're sending people in to close the tent.
Gotcha.
And you put this marker on there to show you want this tent to close.
Okay.
This person now can put patron marker. They don't have to. They can say, you know what? I want this one to close. You can never have the total number of patrons on any card be the same amount. They could have instead put one marker over here. That's totally fine, because this tent, all the tents have to have a unique amount.
Okay.
And the reason why will make sense in a second.
All right.
So maybe they've done that. They really want that tent to close, but you know what? I don't want that tent to close. I want this tent to close. So I have to put a higher number than any other tent, or to close it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put 3.
Okay.
And I put my marker on it.
Yeah.
Okay? Now as the last person, and I could have chosen not to do anything if I wanted to.
Right.
I'm the last person, so now a tent has to close, the one with the most. It's going to be this one is going to close. We look at the top demand, which was for dark lager.
Right.
And we look at the total, so it's 9. Everyone is going to show their dark lager cards, what they've supplied.
Okay.
So I have 2 cards, everyone else shows their amount. Whoever has the higher number of barrels showing gets that number of victory points. So in this case, I would get 5 victory points. Whoever had the second most amount...
5 or 9?
Oh, I'm sorry, you were right. Thanks for paying attention.
Okay.
Right, it would be 9. It would be 9. Whoever has the second most amount would get half rounded up. So they would get 5 victory points for doing so.
Okay.
Now, all the people who did not bid to close this tent, we split these patron tokens amongst them. So evenly amongst these 2 players would each get 1, and this one would go in the pile to be gotten later.
Okay.
And then this tent closes. No more people can be added to that one.
Okay.
We're going to play until we get to the end of the morning, this same way till we close 3 more tents.
Right.
And then when that happens, we're going to shuffle 5 and 6 cards demand in here.
Okay.
When we get to the end of afternoon, we'll shuffle 7 value cards in. So higher values will go into the gates.
Right, gotcha.
There's one more little mechanism, the tapped out card, which these are mixed in there. If 2 show up in a part of the day, it will automatically close whichever tent has the highest value on top.
Okay.
There's a little tiebreaker for that. And the reason why we do that is there has to be some pressure, because if you're just saying like, oh, I want this to get higher in value,
right,
it might actually close, so there might be pressure to close it instead of waiting for that.
Gotcha.
Okay? We play till we get to the end of evening, and whoever has the most victory points wins.
Is the winner. All right, cool.
That's it.
All right, so that's Oktoberfest.
That is Oktoberfest.
All right, have you ever been to an Oktoberfest before?
I have actually.
Yeah?
It is very fun.
I've been to one.
It was very crazy.
And it was in Munich.
Really?
Yeah, it was. It was interesting. I
bet that was
I was absolutely amazed that they had so much alcohol next to Amusement park rides. It just doesn't seem like a very good combination to me.
But I think they're experienced and they can handle that.
Maybe so.
That's my guess.
All right, very good. All right, we'll move this over.
All right. Next, we have Bonanza, and you're going to be one of the first people here in the U.S. to see
Duel.
this. We literally just
My family
got this.
loves this game, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Well, this is specifically only for 2 players.
Right.
Okay. And you can play regular Bonanza with 2 players, but this is really geared specifically for 2 players.
Yeah, we actually played Bonanza so much when we first got into gaming that we tired ourselves out on it.
Really?
Now my youngest one, because we have my first Bonanza, and so we're teaching our 6-year-old how to play it, and now he wants to play it all the time. So we're playing it again. So
That's great.
It has risen back to the top. Yeah.
So. So this game is specifically version is only for 2 players.
Okay.
All right. And it's similar. You're going to see how it's a little similar, but you're going to see how it's also a little bit different.
All right.
We're going to, at the beginning, you're dealt 5 cards, which is your hand. Just like in regular Bonanza, you cannot change the order of the cards.
Okay.
You're also going to start with 3 victory points. Coins are victory points, just like in regular Bonanza.
Okay.
And how much, your viewers, how much, are there some people who probably haven't been acquainted with Bonanza, or do you think they already know Bonanza?
We've talked about it fairly regularly throughout the years, so I would imagine that some will. I would assume that they don't.
Okay,
let's do that.
So in Bonanza, we have a bunch of different kinds of beans that we're going to be planting into our bean fields.
Right.
And each of the different kinds of beans have different frequencies. For example, blue beans, there are 20 of them in the deck.
Correct.
Red beans, there are only 8. So each of these cards have a number on them, and that tells you how many there are.
How many are in the deck?
In the deck.
Right.
So this is this deck.
Gotcha.
Each of the cards also have a payout chart. So when you harvest it, depending on the number of cards you have, you'll get a certain number of coins, which are victory points.
Okay.
So if you harvest 3 cards, you'll get 1 coin. If you harvest 8 cards, in this case, you'll get 3 coins. And the value of this chart changes depending on the cards.
Right.
Okay? Now, also in this game, we have these which are bonus cards, B-O-H-N, which means bean in German. These are bonus, B-O-H-N US cards. I want you to take 3 of these and put them in your hand.
Okay.
I'm going to take 3 and put them in my hand as
now,
well.
Do these have
the
to
order
be...
does not matter for the bonus
order
cards.
doesn't matter.
Now, if you notice,
but these guys must stay in order.
The backs are different, so we can see that they're different.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, in Bonanza, the order of the regular bean cards is important. It doesn't change.
Right.
So, on your turn, there's 4 parts to your turn. The first part of your turn is you must plant at 1 or 2 cards from your hand. We each start with 3 bean fields. I can put 1 card there and 1 card there if I want to, or I could just plant, oops, I changed the order. I can just plant 1 card if I want to, and then the second one here.
Yeah.
Now, the rule that's different in Bonanza Duel is that you can plant any number of cards in a field, and the cards can be different. But as they're being played, they actually have to be the same number as the card previously played or higher. So you can play 8, 8, 8, 8, 10, 12, 14. What you can't do is 14, 14, 14, 14, 12.
Right.
They cannot ever go in descending order.
Gotcha.
Okay? Now, just like in Bonanza, you can harvest a field at any time in the game. I can do it on my turn, I can do it on your turn, and you'll get the value of the top card for cashing out.
Correct.
So for example, if I've got an 18, I don't have some cards here. So let's say I have an 18 and a 20, and later on I'm able to play another 20, 20. I've got 4 cards, it says here for 4.
Okay.
I get 1 coin, so I take these cards, keep 1 of them on my victory point pile, and all the rest get discarded.
So you don't have to have 4 blue beans, you just have to have 4 beans.
Correct.
Okay.
In the pile. But you'll notice,
was that in my first Bonanza? Is that a carryover from my first Bonanza? I want to say that it was.
It's been a while since I've looked at my first Bonanza, so I don't know.
Strike that. It might not be, but
he might be right too.
Yeah, I don't know.
He has a better memory than I do, so that's probably the case. Okay, so you can harvest these at any time.
Okay.
But you'll notice as if you put the higher number cards on here, they'll be worth less and less, the cards that you have. Okay?
Yes.
So first action on your turn, you play one or two cards.
Okay.
Okay? Second,
you must do the first, right?
You must do that first. The next thing you do is you put out 3 cards from the draw pile, and now you must make an offering of a gift. A gift must be given.
Okay.
Okay? The way you offer a gift is, that's why we have these gifting cards up here.
Okay.
I'm going to make an offer to you of a card. It can be of these cards. It can be a card that I have in my hand. I can also try to bluff you, which, when I was learning this, it didn't make sense. Once you start playing it, you totally understand why you might want to bluff. So I'm going to make an offer to you. I'm going to offer you an 18, okay?
Okay.
It's kind of a high card. If you start with an 18, you don't have very many places to go. So you say, I don't want an 18 card.
Great.
So you're going to counter offer, and you might offer a card that you have in your hand. Do you have a card in your hand? Give me an offer back.
Yeah, let's do, let's see, what is this?
Don't take it out, just make the offer.
Yeah, we'll do the
Okay,
12.
now I have a choice. I can either accept that, or I can counter offer again, but I can only counter offer with a card that hasn't previously been offered.
Okay.
So we can go back and forth, and usually what happens is you're making offer of cards that you don't want, or you don't want your opponent to have, or that you don't want, that they don't want.
Yeah.
So you do it till finally someone gives in and decides to take cards. So let's say I'm going to offer a 20 card. So I put that forward, and you decide to accept it.
So does this go back?
No, it just stays up to show that it can't be offered again this round. So you decide to accept my offer of 20. You're going to accept it.
I am.
You're going to accept it for this example.
Okay, I will accept it then.
Okay. So I can either give you a 20 from my hand to get rid of cards where I don't like the order, the positioning, or I can give you one of these.
Okay.
The gift goes to the side of your field.
All right.
Now, of the cards remaining, I may discard one. I don't have to, and then I must plant all the remaining cards.
Okay.
So maybe I will plant this 18 here, and I'll plant the 20 here, and now you must plant the gift. If it ended up instead that you didn't like this gift, you countered with something and I accepted it, then maybe you probably gave it from your hand, I would put it on the side, I would have to plant that.
Okay.
Okay?
What if you
someone
bluff
has to accept, if you bluff, good point, if you bluff, you offer something and I accept it that you don't have, you have to give me one of your coins, a victory point.
Okay. So that's a risk reward.
That's right. Okay. So after that, so we're done with the offering, we're done planting. Then the next thing we do is I must draw 2 more cards
and add them to the back of your hand.
And add them to the back of my hand.
All right.
All right.
Now, can they go in
so the bonus cards, it doesn't matter where the bonus cards are in your hand because we can see they're different.
Gotcha.
Now, this is where it comes into play that any time during my turn, if and I should say this, I don't know if your viewers can see this. The bonus cards show a pattern. If at any time during the game, one of my bean fields or one of your bean fields matches this pattern, and so for example, this pattern is 4 cards in a row that are all different, or in a field. This one is 1 card, then a different card, and then 3 of another different card. If I have a pattern that matches this, I immediately can fulfill it, and I put it in my scoring pile.
Okay.
Same thing as if it ever happens on your turn that, this matches what you have on your thing, I can still score it.
I got it.
So at the end of the round, we both have the option, the end of a turn, I should call it a turn, I have the option, if I of my bonus cards that I had in my hand, if I didn't like one of them, I can discard one of them, and then I draw back up to 3 bonus cards.
Really?
Same thing with you, even it's my turn, you can discard one of your bonus cards.
Bonus cards or bean cards?
I mixed that up.
Yeah, okay.
You're right. Thank you for paying attention.
No, that's fine.
It was a test. It was the bonus cards.
Cool.
We each can discard up to 1 that we don't like, and then draw back up to 3.
All right.
And then it's the next player's turn.
Okay.
That's how we go until we actually run through this deck. And then the game ends.
Just once?
Just once.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go through all the cards, and then you add up your victory points. Your victory points are all the coins you have that you've planted.
Yeah.
And then the bonus cards also are worth that number. So this is worth
0.7.
1.7 beans.
Okay.
And you add those up, and whoever has the highest total wins.
And probably won't be a whole lot of tying with those in mind.
Generally not.
Generally not. This is cool.
Right.
that's interesting.
It is really hard to understand this gifting without once you play it, you're like, ooh, everyone who's played it like, wow, this is really takes some bluffing and consideration in terms of what you want, what you don't want, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the only thing that really kind of seemed unintuitive based on my previous knowledge of Bonanza.
Yeah, this is different, and it makes it really good for 2 players. It really makes it...
It makes it a really tight thing, and I like that you only go through the deck once.
Yep.
So that means it's going to be a shorter game, it's going to be a tighter game. Because sometimes the way we played it, especially with a couple people that know what they're doing, a game of Bonanza can go pretty longer than it should, I'll put it that way, because you have to go through the deck, what is it, 3 times?
Right,
yeah.
right. So this one, it's definitely a timer, it's going to go through one.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I've watched people play it, I've played this. The game is simple. This whole gifting mechanism, I see people thinking like, all right, if I offer this, I kind of don't want them to take it, but I don't want to get stuck with this card. I want, and this really goes back and forth. This is really kind of a different, interesting mechanism.
Very cool.
All right.
All right. Looking forward to that.
Great.
Very good. So when is this going to be available? Is it available now? Or?
Excellent question.
Yes.
So we literally just got it into our warehouse a few days ago.
Really?
So we just started shipping it out to our distributors and retailers.
Cool.
So it has not really hit stores yet, although a couple of our retailers have it here at the show.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right. We got more of these guys over here. And what have we got next?
What do we have next?
Is that
let's do
Cartagena?
Cartagena.
All right, that's good.
Well, it's not exactly Cartagena.
Okay.
It's Cartagena's 2nd edition.
Hey. All right.
Have you played Cartagena?
I have not.
A long time ago. Okay.
So I'm a open book. I'm a
really
blank notebook.
Well, this is.
I apologize. I have played this.
Well, so
this brought it all back to memory. Yes.
Here's what's interesting is this has been out of print for a while.
Yes.
Okay. So it's an older game, family game. It's done very well for us. It's a popular game, but it's been out of print for a while, and this is Cartagena's 2nd edition.
Okay.
So this has some of the things that people are familiar with, and then some new things as well.
All right, that sounds cool.
So in Cartagena, a quick overview. Everybody has 6 pirates that are in the Cartagena prison. These are normally standing up, but I'm not going to take the time to stand them up.
I'll do that.
Okay.
While you talk.
And this is where Cartagena's 2nd edition is a little bit different. We have several variations or variants in the game, so you decide how you want to play and how long you want to play.
Right.
There are several of these tiles. All of them are double-sided. One side has the prison, the underground tunnel to escape.
Yes.
Cartagena. The other side are the island of Tortuga, which you're trying to escape from. You can make all the tiles the tunnel escape. Mm-hmm. You can make it all the island, or you can also make it in 2 parts with more of the tiles.
Where you have to escape this
where you
first.
Have to escape this and then get to the island and get to the pirate's nest.
That's cool.
Okay? And then I'll explain these in just a second.
Let's move these over in a little bit. Let's get some of those island tiles up there so that they can see.
That? Okay.
Yeah, just so they can see what it looks like.
Great.
Let's move these over here just so they can see what it looks like. There you go.
There. Okay, there's some more. And also, everybody starts with 6 of these cards. These 6 cards correspond to the symbols that you see on the game tiles. So the way the game works is you can take 1, 2, or 3 actions on your turn. You normally would keep these hidden, but you are doing a nice thing so that people can see what the images are.
Right.
When you play a card, you can move one of your pirates forward till it hits that symbol.
Right.
So in this case, if I played a lantern,
you go over here
if
like
I'm
that.
the red player, I will go to the lantern. For my next action, I might play another lantern card.
And you can either move this guy here or move this guy here.
Correct. Or this one skips over to the. He goes to the next available lantern.
Right.
Okay. So that what you're trying to do is get all your pirates to the end, whatever that is. Either you can play just to the boat, or you can play get to the boat. And when you have pirates on the boat, you can then take an action to move the boats to the island.
All right.
And then continue moving your pirates till you get to the pirate's nest. And you can choose to play with, that's one of the variants.
Very cool.
Okay? And whoever gets all of their pirates to the end of whatever you decide the end to be will win the game.
Is the winner.
So you can actually control how long you want the game to be this way, how many tiles you're playing with. All right?
That's awesome.
So some of the variants in the game that make this the 2nd edition. The normal way, or the original way to get more cards is that for one of your actions, you could move one of your pirates backwards. Okay?
Right.
When you move one backwards, he has to stop at the first place he encounters another pirate. And however many pirates that are there, that's how many cards you drew. So if I was here and I moved it back here, I would draw one card from the draw deck to replenish one card. If let's say I had also had another pirate up here, for another action, I could move this back here, and I would collect two cards. The most you could have is 3 pirates on a space. So that's how you get cards.
Okay.
Another variation is instead of you moving your pirates backwards, you can move one of your opponent's pirates forward to draw cards. So I will be helping you.
Until they meet another
cards,
one.
I actually have to help you till they encounter one. So if you go forward till you meet one, I would be able to draw one card.
Okay.
If you move to if I moved you to a place where there were 2 pirates, then I would be able to draw 2 cards.
Okay.
Okay? That's another variant.
Okay, that's cool.
Now another variant is with these cards, there are the black magic cards.
All right.
And each of those cards actually have a special function that you can use instead of playing it to move your a pirate. You can use it for its black magic. So, for example, the lantern allows you to draw 4 cards, choose one of them into your hand, put the others back on the pile.
Okay.
I think this is the rum card allows you to draw 1 card more than the number of players. So if there's 4 players, you draw 5 cards. You get 2, and everyone else gets 1 card.
Okay.
And so each of the cards has a special ability.
All right.
And that's
cool.
Second edition.
Second edition looks good, man. I like the look of it. And these guys are nice and chunky too, so I like it.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's good. All right, so we got time for maybe one more.
All right.
It probably has to be a short one.
We got that. All right. So
has to be a short one.
You want to push it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Link.
All right,
the
Link.
newest, and this just came out a couple weeks ago. Are you familiar with the GIF series?
Yes, I am.
This is Link, if you want to hold up for just a second.
I soundly defeated Z at this a few days ago.
Oh, you actually played it?
Yes.
Oh, great.
But I'm good. I'm glad you want to show it.
All right. So we don't have to do this, but we'll just explain.
It was luck, by the way. I'm not very good at it.
Okay. So in this game, we'll set aside one of each colored piece, except for the wild ones and red. So we have the 5 colors,
and these are just randomly put out, right?
Put these out. They have ridges on them, which I don't know if your viewers can see that.
Ruffles.
How did you get to play this? This really just came out.
It just showed up, and this is something that Z's been really looking forward to. So as soon as it showed up, we cracked it out, cracked it open, and had some fun.
I think we sent you a demo copy. So as soon as it came in, that may have been what happened.
That may have been it.
As you played it, it's actually relatively simple. On your turn, you move 1 stack on top of another stack.
Correct.
The rule for that is when you move it to capture, you have to move along a straight line. Mm-hmm. You can move over empty spaces, but you may not jump over other piles.
Correct.
And when you're capturing it, they have to be the same size, or the one that's capturing it has to be larger.
Right.
So this is legal, this is legal, this is not legal.
Right.
Also, you can't have more than 1 of the same color in a stack.
Yeah.
And the maximum height of a stack is 5.
Correct.
Okay?
And that's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to get stacks of 5, all have 1 of each color.
That's part of it.
Part of it, yeah.
Yes, you're right. Now, additionally, at the beginning of the game, all the colors are neutral, and this is something that's a little bit different. They don't belong to anybody.
Right.
All right? So, but during the game, you can claim a color. You do that before you take your turn. So I might say, I claim blue. Here's the problem. If I claim this very early, what are you going to do?
I'm going to cover up all the blues.
You're going to do everything you can to cover up all the blues.
Right.
Because I will only score blue for the piles that have have blue on top.
On top, yeah.
Okay. So as you're going to use the game is going to progress. We're going to capture, take back and forth. Mm-hmm. You can claim up to 2 colors.
Yes.
As soon as of one of my colors that I've claimed, and there's 5, I take it off the board.
Yes.
That scores 1 point for me.
Right.
Okay? We're going to play until nobody can make any more moves. Now, if there's colors that haven't been claimed, both of us can still move them.
Correct.
Once I've claimed the color, you cannot,
I can't move that color anymore.
move
right.
if it has my color on top.
Yeah.
We're going to play till no one has any more moves. Whoever has the most 5-point piles wins. If there's a tie, we look at 4-piece piles. There's a tie, 3, 2, 1.
Right, yeah.
Okay? And now the last thing is there's 2 more things. One, there are neutral pieces in there. There's 3 neutrals that just adds a little variability.
You can have multiple neutrals on the same stack.
Correct. You just can't, when you're capturing, you can't have a neutral, one of these on top. The wild ones on top. And then there's the link rule.
Yep.
Okay? The way the link rule works is I'm going to have to set this up just a little bit. Bear with me.
No problem.
The way the link rule works is if you have a pile and it's making legal moves, you can move through in legal moves all the pieces of the same color of that pile.
Right.
So normally I can't jump over things, but this has blue on top. I can link through blue, blue, blue to capture red.
Yep. That's the link rule.
That's it. And that's
cool.
the whole game. You play until no one can take any more moves. Whoever has the most points wins the game.
Yep. That's we did have fun playing it. It's not my style of game, but it is one that I was able to have fun with playing with Z. So
it's a 2-player abstract strategy game.
Yes.
No game is going to make everybody happy, but there are people we have that love the 2-player abstracts, and they seem to like this so far.
Absolutely. Tom and Z both like it tremendously. So I had fun watching them 2 play because they played right after Z and I played.
Question: when they were playing, and I know we're almost done, but did they get to the points where they're like staring, they're stopping and like staring at the board?
Oh yeah, and Z would do something. I'm like, and then Tom would like, why did you do that? Because I'm going to do this. And
so part of the fun challenge, I think, is deciding when to claim the colors.
Right.
That
is one of the cruxes of finding that perfect time to claim one of the colors.
And let me just ask, when you played it, how long did the game take you to play?
Not very long, maybe 15, 20 minutes tops.
That's what we see.
Yeah.
Great.
Very good. Thanks so much, Scott, for showing us all this stuff.
Thank you for letting me show it to you.
You're very welcome. We're going to send him over to Z so that you guys can ask him some questions. And we thank you guys for joining. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
All right, Bonanza Duel.
Yes.
That's also an Uwe Rosenberg design, I assume?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Correct.
What's the...
Good question.
Yeah, well, somebody asked, and I figured it was, but I wanted to make sure. When is that coming out, and what's the MSRP on it?
Oh, okay. So it literally came into our warehouse a few days ago.
Okay.
We just started shipping it out to our distributors and retailers. So it should start hitting stores probably the beginning of next week. Although we do have some copies at retailers here that are at Origins, which is why you should come to Origins.
Yeah, and if you are here and you're watching this live, then you can possibly grab a copy here.
If you want to get something before everybody else on the block.
There you go. Good.
MSRP, I apologize, I don't know off the top of my head.
Is it approximately 15?
I would say it's between 15 and 19.
Okay.
I think it might be $19.95, it might be $15.95. I apologize. I don't know off the top of my head.
That's fine. I mean, it's a $4 difference, so that's what it is. All right. Release date on Oktoberfest.
That's a great question. I just learned why. Or I just learned, and I have got good information on it.
Hold on here.
There was,
I see it coming.
Have you played Oktoberfest?
I haven't.
Have you played Concordia? Oh wait, I'm sorry. Was the question about Oktoberfest?
Yeah, Oktoberfest.
Oh, Oktoberfest.
Yeah. But we can circle back around to Concordia.
What was the
release date on Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest is already out. That came out a couple weeks ago.
Concordia, then.
So I'm sorry. I thought you said Concordia.
No, let's do it. Concordia.
So Concordia, everybody's been wanting to know. It just got loaded on a container at our European factory, and it is shipping this week. So we should be getting it the first week of July.
That's the reprint of Concordia.
That is the reprint of Concordia.
Is the expansion for that available as of right now, or is that
Which expansion are you talking about?
The salsa
So
one,
salsa we will not have yet. That will be coming in the future, but it's not on that container.
And there's another expansion coming out for that. It sounds like
Gallia Corsica, I think it is, which is already out, and we do have that in stock.
That one's out.
That is an additional, a new board.
Okay, sounds good. Any other releases coming out from Rio Grande in the near future? that you can talk about?
That is a good question. The answer is we will be. Cold Country should be coming out within the next month or two.
Okay.
And then we do actually have a couple more coming out, but I can't tell you exact dates yet. So the answer is yes. We have 2 more in queue that tentatively will be out in the next 2 to 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Another question on here that your viewers may be asking is, when is Dominion Seaside coming back into stock?
Okay. It looks like you're cheating. Actually, I think you might be reading. I think you're reading my notes.
No, well, everybody asks that. I get 2 emails a day for people who want Concordia and Dominion Seaside and Dark Ages.
Okay.
So Dominion Seaside's on the same container with Concordia. So when we get Concordia, we'll get Dominion Seaside.
Okay.
Dark Ages will be the next one that we will be getting afterwards. So should be the next month or 2 following.
Okay. And then I'll ask you just one more thing about the gift series. I know those are being reprinted from Hook and Friends, and Rio Grande has them here. Are they all back in print now, or are some still coming?
I think we have 5 or 6 of them. They will all be done, but they're being done in waves. So I think right now we have all of them. I want to say the one that we don't have yet is Tamska, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know off the top of my head which one it is that we don't have yet. But the answer is they will all be done.
Okay. And I think that's it. I think we're gonna let you go. We're gonna stop torturing you.
Great. This is not torture. This is a pleasure.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Good talking.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, thanks very much. All right. Awesome. Thanks, everybody.